All right, in the last video, we talked about the first few steps of the hero's journey. If you're looking at the classic Google images of 12 to 17 steps, we're looking at the first few steps and kind of clumping those all together in talking about the ordinary world. And really what's going on there when you're watching all the movies is that there's a gun to the head situation where the person, the child, the soon-to-be hero is realizing that the world that they're dependent on is becoming hostile to them. So it could be their parents died, they got fired from their job, there's a war coming. They can't stay still. And that's really the key. There has to be an extreme in the outside environment where you are forced to either die or transform. So I think that's really key, is that you can't really go on your hero's journey if things are kind of cozy. Because if you could jump from your mommy's house to go to your auntie's house, now you're depending on your auntie and not your mommy anymore. That's not going to force the transformation. Now, it can force a lot of growth, right? But it's not going to force this rite of passage into this new journey. The more extreme the trials and tribulations are that you are in life now or will eventually go through, the better when you know this stuff. It's very much how the Bible talks about, blessed are those who are in the trials and tribulations and persecutions, because that creates the transformation. So the first thing, if you were to write down on your imaginary fake notepad, is the thing that is needed for the hero's journey is, number one, the external pressure of the hostile host. If your world is not turning on you and you are going to die if you don't respond, you're not in a hero's journey, or at least not yet. Or maybe you're in some mild version of it, but it's not the beginnings of a true hero's journey. There must be the hostile host. The second thing, also write this down, kind of the flip to that coin, is that the person has to realize, which they really can't at the beginning of this journey, that they are the ones that are causing this. Because why are you in this town being a dependent idiot? Now that the town is burning down, which it should be, how did you get caught up in that to begin with? So number two, if you're writing this down, is you are the irresponsible child causing this. Meaning, if there's not a change, you just jump from town to town to town. It just keeps happening. You jump from boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend, and it just keeps happening. You jump from job to job to job to job, and it just keeps happening, right? So it's not necessarily that your town is burning down, because that's normal. It's that you are a person that is dependent on these codependent relationships and not independently self-confident and self-supportive in yourself. So self-supportive and so self-confident that you are filled and abundant and have more to give to others. Now, in the Thor movie, you see the contrast between these two identities. And kind of the way I look at them is like with our functions here, the extroverted decider, how we look at ourselves in relationship to the tribe. What are we after? So the stock extroverted decider, whether you have that function first, second, third, or fourth, it doesn't matter. All of us starting off, we're looking for validation in a very selfish way. So I will do this, but what's in it for me? When you look at Thor, his extroverted decider, how he views himself in the tribe, and why is he helping people? Why is he helping tribe members? Why does he want to go to war? Because him and his brother are in this pissing contest of, no, I'm better. And if I do this, people will like me more. And it's this realization that when we all start off, you can see it in others and you can see it in kids, that really our motivations are very selfishly tainted. Even though you're going to go help everybody and save the world and go down to the soup kitchen and all the rest, there's still selfish motivations in there. We get very competitive with other people. We get very upset if they take our stuff because everybody's posturing towards, look at me. And you can see this on social media. Everybody's showing off on their Instagram, their Facebook. Look what I did. Look how cool this is. There's an unconscious show off that's hijacking the extroverted decider. In contrast, you see the king, the alpha, at the beginning of the Thor movie, his dad, which Thor later becomes more like his dad towards the end of the movie, and the two of them are almost equals at the end, right? You see this calmness come over Thor towards the end. But with the true alpha, Thor's dad at the beginning of the movie, you can see the contrast that his dad is like a fulfilled servant. His dad is looking to where he can give, where he can humble himself. For example, they get in a fight with the Frost Giant guys, and Thor's dad humbles himself and says, hey, can we work this out? I'm thinking about others. I'm willing to sacrifice myself now and my ego now so we can work out a deal so our tribe doesn't lose lives, your tribe doesn't lose lives. The king is thinking about, how can I give? I'm coming from a state of abundance. I have nothing to prove. And of course, Thor and his brother see that as a sign of weakness, They go, you're not playing the same game as everybody else. The I'm better than you, let's go beat them up. They offended me, so let's go wipe everybody out. And you see the contrast between the fulfilled alpha king, Thor's dad, and then tantruming little Thor, who's trapped in the same crap that we all are as kids. And then that's what then explodes the beginning of the journey for Thor, is that his dad kicks him out and says, you got to go grow up. You got to go learn how to be a servant and not a taker. That is a long journey to go from tantruming Thor to Tony Robbins, person of abundance, loving everybody. That is a long-ass journey. This hero's journey stuff can really kind of take your life. This is my opinion here. This is what I've kind of seen for myself and others. It can take these life lessons of growth that you're probably going to go on anyways, but rather than getting somewhere really good in 40 years, you can get that down to 10 years because you consciously know what you're doing. So, for example, for me, when I continue to be a selfish asshole shooting myself in the foot, about 1 out of 10 times when it finally gets bad enough, I go, oh, yeah, all right, yeah, I see what I'm doing here. I'm not able to stop myself completely, but I'm at least aware that I'm driving the rocket ship the wrong direction. I need to start steering back towards this. Knowing this stuff does help you start to guide your compass because you're driving it consciously. And that really sets it up for the next step in the hero's journey. This would be kind of the second phase if you're looking at the 17 to 12 steps. And that is meeting with the mentors. You got to have the mentors. They say, you're the average of the 5 friends you hang out with. This is that psychology. Your mentors, leaders, teachers, and friends and allies and tools are what's going to really equip you to get out of these spirals that everyone else is stuck in. Because remember, you are the one that got yourself into this. You need someone else and something else to guide you and pull you and sometimes beat you out of those negative tidal waves that you're stuck in.